Alrighty, so today we're going to do some stories, and the theme of the two of these stories are about tzaddikim and people who lived with very little food. Um, they were extremely poor, or they decided to hold themselves back from doing certain things, from having a lot of gashmis in their lives. And very simply, these stories are very interesting. I'm not telling them over to let you know that you should get rid of everything in your life and not eat. But it's good to know that there were people who existed like this in previous times. And also, even today, even though we live in a very abundant place and time where we have everything that we need, thank you Hashem, we could still take a little bit out of our lives, or try to, during the 3 weeks or whatever, try to take out one thing. But anyway, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the first story is called A Little Bit of Hot Pepper. Pilpil Harif. It's actually a story from the Baba Sali. I just didn't have time to put screenshots. I'm sorry, I'm already getting lazy. And basically the story is about the Baba Sali, who liked eating pilpil harif. So let's see what it says. So it says that the guests of the Baba Sali used to have a lot of people in his house, who would take care of him. There was always big sudas going on over there, according to stories that I've read. So they were worried in the year of Shmita, right? In Eretz Yisrael, in the year of Shmita, you can't. It's very Jewish farms are not allowed to grow food, and they could grow food, but it's a whole thing. So a lot of stuff comes from Arab places and outside of Eretz Yisrael these days. But back in the day, it was a much harder situation when there wasn't as much as a world connection that there is today. So they were very worried that they're going to have, what are they going to feed the Baba Sali? Where are they going to get all the food and all these different things? But the Baba Sali was not worried at all, and the Baba Sali said to them, for him it's very easy to lishmar ala Shmita, because first of all, he is already used to eating very little. Right? He said that all he eats is a little bit of bread and a little bit of pilpil harif, hot peppers, spicy peppers, at night, and that's good enough for him. And the second thing he said was he trusts in Hashem, that he'll fulfill everything that we need. Anything that we need, Hashem will give us, will give me, right? And that's how the Baba Sali was shomer the Shmita, bitsura regua uboiteches. He was relaxed and calm and trust in Hashem. So now they say, okay, so pilpil harif, the spicy peppers, this was his main food, right? But where are they going to get this main food that's fresh, that was not grown by a Jew? So after they spoke to the Baba Sali about this, about what he wanted, which was just the pilpil harif, Rav Chazan, who was, I guess, is one of his guys over there, Spana Rav Chazan l'kayim mitzvahs bikur cholim. This guy Rav Chazan went to go be mekayim the mitzvahs of bikur cholim. His uncle was ushpaz in the French hospital Notre Dame. Notre Dame. I'm an idiot. Notre Dame, in the French hospital, the Notre Dame French hospital, which was in Musrara, which is in Jerusalem, which was mamish al kav hagvul in Yisraelim in Yerushalayim shebidei ha'aravim, which was right on the border of the part of Yerushalayim that was in the hands of the Arabs at that time. So he went to visit this guy in the hospital over there, and after a little bit of time that he was in the hospital room with this guy, So they went outside to get some air in the courtyard of the hospital. And to his surprise, this guy Rav Chazan, who was, I guess, the Baba Sali's Gabbai or whatever, one of his Mekorvav, one of his close people, they saw a beautiful garden of different types of vegetables, and what was in it? The majority of the garden was pilpil harif, spicy peppers, chatzilim shacharcharim, which is, I guess, the eggplants, and umaat tznoinius. Tznoinius is, I forgot what tznoin is. Leek cabbage, something like that. Yeah, different types of good vegetables. So he went to the non-Jew who was in charge of this garden. This guy Rav Chazan went to this non-Jew, and he asked him if he could buy from him a little bit of pilpil harif for a very very special guest that's with him. And the only thing he eats is pilpil harif. So Anay Lehala, he said to him, you could come here every day and take whatever you need. You could take not only pilpil harif, but you could take from the chatzilim and the tznoin as much as you need, all the time that they're already growing. And this was mamish straight from Hashem. Shekol oisim shavuos behem shah bebeisa shel Rav Chazan loy pasku me'al shulchanai. I guess the Baba Sali was in the house of the. I guess he was in the house of the what's it called? I guess he was in the house of the sky Rav Chazan. So all the weeks that he was there in the house of Rav Chazan, so they had on their table pilpul spicy peppers, the eggplants and the tznoinios metoitzrus kisher lemahadrin min mahadrin, because it was grown by an Arab, and that's the best that you could get in Eretz Yisrael during the Shmita. It's a little unclear where the Baba Sali was at this point. Was he in Netivot where he lived? Maybe you would have better chance over there. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, this is what the Baba Sali said. He trusted in Hashem, and Hashem sent Rav Chazan to the hospital to visit, to do bigger cholim, and then all of a sudden he saw his garden, and now they have everything that they need. And that's how the tzaddikim lived. That's how people in Eretz Yisrael lived back then as well, which is pretty cool. There's another crazy story in here. Where's this other story about this guy? This is such wild advice that was going on over here. There was a guy. Here we go. This story is titled 2 Portions of Fish. So it says the Rav HaKadosh Rav Pincha mi Pilitz Zichusim Yogaleinu. I never heard of him, but I'm sure he was a very, very holy tzaddik, right? He was very into tznius and being, just having a little bit, whatever he had, that was what he needed, and he was and that's how he lived his life as a tzaddik. So the story goes is that when the Imrei Emes of Gur, or Ger, married off his daughter, his oldest daughter, who was named Fega, Maras Fega Olav Shalom, in Benoi with the son of the Rav HaKodesh Rav Moshe Bitzal Hashem Yinkov Davov, Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Alter Hashem Yinkov Davov. So Higia Rav Pincha B'pam Achrona L'chayav L'gur L'shtate B'simchas Nisurim. So the Imrei Emes was making a wedding for his daughter, who was marrying the son Rav Yitzchak Meir Alter. Sorry, he was marrying the son of Rav Moshe Bitzalel, and the son's name was Rav Yitzchak Meir Alter. Okay? So this guy Rav Pincha came the last time of his life to Ger to be mishtatif in the wedding. And in the Suda of the Chasana, they gave out fish to the guests. Since he was a big tzaddik, I guess they gave him 2 pieces of fish. And Rabbi Pincha stood up from his place and said, Bizbuz kazeh. this type of embarrassment, shtei chatichos dog, I guess this type of waste, embarrassment, whatever, waste, yeah, it's more like a waste. 2 pieces of fish, I'm not eating it. I'm never coming here again for a wedding. And he did never come back because that year, in the 3rd day of Chol Hamoed Pesach, he died. He was 83 years old. And I guess the point of that story is that he said that 2 pieces of fish for a person is a waste. You can be mistapik with 1. So yeah, these guys lived in a different type of lifestyle than we did, but it's good to know about it. And those are the stories for today. Let's go eat some pilpil harif.